Radical.
Welcome to Flea Market Stories, documenting one man's journey into the world of flea marketing. Not gonna lie, it's just one of those weekends, one of those double shift weekends, and I'm quite tired. Even too tired to look up gaming or sports news. So we're just going to talk about flea marketing earlier in today. I really have to do these right after, so it's fresh on my mind, everything. And going to add in a little bit of transmission stories, which is not a thing. I'm just kidding. It's not going to be a new series called Transmission Stories, documenting one man's struggles with his Chevy Impala transmission. Of course, sometimes, things weigh on your mind and they get in the way of other things like creating content for YouTube. Well, good news is my check engine light is not on. Bad news is my check engine light, when I was leaving the flea market, was on, and Chevy was kicking like a mule at times, especially going up a hill. Yeah, kicking like a mule. And I think it's a sensor. I think it's the pressure control sensor, because this thing happened once before in the Chevy years back, and that's what it was. But it might not be. Might not be. That's what I've been told. You could have the transmission pan dropped and they could check it, but apparently the fluid, I don't know transmissions, but I was told by somebody that if you take your transmission pan off and the fluid is drained and there's issues, you better be ready right then to rebuild your transmission. That's what I was told. They may be wrong, but that's what I was told. So, yeah, I got the money to rebuild it. I do. It's just I have the other car, the sidecar, that has some issues with it. I got spark plugs, going to put those in. And, we're still in flea market stories. Just be patient here. Because, hey, it's the things that take me to the flea market, so it's kind of like, it's not flea market stories. The other car, I need the spark plugs put in it. It needs new rims because apparently I was told one of my rims is bent. I don't remember when it got bent, but it was bent. It sucks. So I need new rims in that one, but they're 15, so 15-inch rims are not terribly expensive. And the tires have a little bit of dry rot on the outside, but the tread is really good. So I was told that they're probably okay. I just need some new rims on that vehicle. So I need the rims and spark plugs put in. And the big problem is my temperature gauge goes up all the way over to hot, but it's not overheating. At least I don't think it's overheating. The people that put the engine in told me that it's a temperature gauge. But I think they wired something up wrong because it wasn't having that issue before that. Also, I noticed a cracked windshield, which I think was done in the transport of the car from one place to the other. There's a little dent in the rear bumper. There's all kind of stuff that needs to be done. I'm completely having to just redo this. Yeah, we're still in flea market story. Be patient. But this is life, You have to make all these little decisions. And I think to myself, well, shit, if the Chevy, which is a much bigger car than the Sentra, gets put in the shop for a rebuild, then that means I can't fit my long tables in the Sentra. So I'll have to downscale at the flea market and just use that standard table, which isn't that big. And then I won't be able to bring as much. And I've got a lot invested in game stuff, and I can't display as many TVs there because I won't have the tables. And it all goes in together, right? Now, how was the flea market today? Now we're in flea market stories. I should put like a little timestamp to when flea market stories actually starts. Well, good and bad. Not terribly a great day sales-wise. Yesterday was terrible. It was cold and rainy, so you know the deal. I did pretty good yesterday for a cold and rainy day sales-wise. Still both days under 100 each day. And today could have been a lot better. But it's not all my fault that I didn't have a good sales day. It is not. Because during rush hour, one person who said they were not coming this day, and I said, wait till Saturday. Wait till Saturday early, then I'll take a look at your stuff. They decided to bring me a box of game stuff, which usually I'm happy to see. And I was kind of happy to see it until I realized that I thought I was on a timer. I didn't know if it was this guy's game box or somebody else's because he came there with another person. So I'm thinking, oh shit, am I having to quickly look through this and make a decision on, if I want it or not? because he didn't say how much he wanted for the box. He just said $2 each. That's what he said. That I'm supposed to go in there and count the games and go $2 each, okay? Right off the bat, I'm not down with that because how many games are in the game? I didn't count all of them. Okay, maybe fucking like 70, something, maybe 75. Maybe 75. But right away, I noticed that there was like 5 or 6 DJ Heroes. And with the DJ Hero disc, you need the DJ thing. And then I noticed there was Destiny on Xbox 360 and what's the other one? Shit. What is it? Defiance on 360? I'm pretty sure like you can no longer play Defiance on 360, right? And you can't play Destiny on 360, right? So basically those are 2 coasters. The only use I would have would be the plastic case, the green plastic case. So I started separating them. And my buddy was there. You know, the guy has the kind of the weird voice that usually is my assistant, helps me out and everything there. And he was very valuable on this day because it's during rush hour. And he kind of hangs out there. He doesn't drive. His mother takes him places. He's going to get a car pretty soon, though. So he was there for about maybe 20, 30 minutes. And here lately, he's been like trying to sell me stuff, which good and bad. Like the first thing he sold me was the Xbox 360 original that works for $20. So, okay, yeah, I'll buy Xbox 360 for $20. It works. And then last week, an Xbox One S for $60, man. Hell of a deal, man. $60 for an Xbox One S? Hell yeah. It didn't have a controller. It had the power plug, but no big deal, right? No big deal. $60 for that. And it works. He verified it works. Cool. Now, one reason I got it so cheap was it had like a lot of kids writing on it. Not his writing, but someone else, Sharpie writing, right? But I was like, that's cool. I didn't tell him, but I know how to get out Sharpie writing. So, $60 for that. And this week, he brought a DVD, and it was a Dragon Ball Broly DVD. And the first time, I didn't want it, man. I was like, DVDs, man. I didn't want to lowball them. I just wanted to say, like, nah, you hold on to that. One trick is, if you see some, oh yeah, he also sent me a picture of a PlayStation 1, but I was like, man, that's in mint condition. You hold on to that, man. That's a beauty. If you don't want something, a good thing to tell somebody is like, oh man, that's good. You hold on to that, man. That's nice. And you sometimes convince the person to not sell the item. And you still say like, I don't want that shit. I got too many of that. I don't want that. But you tell them to hold on to it because that's nice. You should hold on to that, right? At the end of the day, I wound it up because he helped me. I didn't tell him that, but I'm like, yeah, I'll buy it. I'll go for $5. The disc was in great condition, worked. And I was thinking like some anime guy I'll buy it for like $5, $10, something like that, I sold a Full Metal Alchemist Conqueror Shambhala movie for $10, so I figure that person's out there. And this dude's solid. He helps me out and everything. He also plugged in, I don't know what it is. I'm not down with like a lot of new technologies. It was maybe something to get internet. Okay, yeah. It was like a little box, little black box, and had Ethernet cable hanging out of it. And it was something that you can plug into something and picks up Wi-Fi. I don't know what the hell it was. I don't know. But I didn't want to buy it, so I bought the DVD thing for $5. But yeah, back to the games. So during rush hour, he drops this off, and I don't have any room on the main tables. So I'm having to actually squat behind the table and look through this box and then keep an eye on the table. So I actually tell dude, if you do me a big favor, you actually kind of keep an eye out for me and like maybe talk to some of the customers. This guy's really good talking to customers. He's really helpful, really friendly. He might become my apprentice. I might groom him one day to be my successor, my flea market successor. Or I might teach him the ways of flea marketing. But I don't know. Because then that guy will actually set up a game table and then we'll be competitors and rivals. I don't want to create a monster, so yeah. Which I don't know if that's the case. I'm not sure. But it's almost like he looks up to me in a way. Like he looks up to me and this is kind of adorable. Dude just looks up to me, you know? So maybe he wants to be the next person that's, I don't know. Like, I'm not doing super there right now, but here again, I'm not really in my groove right now. It's not warm weather. When it gets warm weather, I'm sure I'll take everything that I learned the past year and I'll have a much better sales year this year. There's just lots of little things that you learn as you go along, and I'm not really a pro at it yet. Maybe one good, more solid year, and then I'll be a flea marketing pro, I believe. I'm not quite there yet. There's a lot of little things I need to probably just kind of focus on. Like, keeping, like when I'm recording these, focus on actually what you want to talk about and not venturing off. Listeners get angry at you when you venture off and shit. So back to the game box. I already told you it was like DJ Heroes in there. It was not a good lot. I wound up paying $75 for it. It wasn't a good lot, I would say. Like, I'll make money on it, I'm sure. It's one of those deals where, like, okay, I won't make instant money. There's not a lot of GTAs or Red Deads in there, not any Black Ops, but, I mean, there's a lot of Battlefields. Battlefields 3s and 4s. I mean, there's a ton. There's like 20 of them. 20 of the games, Battlefields and Battlefield Bad Company, Battlefield 3, 4. What I remember in there is a Shadow of Mordor, which whenever I have, that's kind of an uncommon 360 game, I think. So I usually wind up selling that one for 15, but I think I'll bump it up to 20 on that one. And when people ask, I'm like, it's kind of an uncommon 360 game. Shadow of Mordor, there was Bulletstorm. There were some okay 360 games. Nothing, I mean, mostly filler, but filler's not all bad. Because sometimes if you have a lot of filler, people will go through it, and then, like, with a game, they'll see one that pops from the filler. Opposite with DVDs. If somebody looks through your DVDs, they don't have much patience. If they see some filler, they'll assume they're all crap. Well, when it comes to games, people, like, might look in there, just get, like, the nice find and whatnot. Plus, it's nice to have a lot of games out there because it looks like, you're a professional. Like, this guy has a lot of games for me to look through. And as they're looking through the games, other people will come to the table because one person's looking through the games. And they'll wait to actually get to look through the games. And if you have multiple games, then there's more trays and there's not all bunched up, These are little things I need to pick up on to be a flea marketing pro. I'm really like taking notes of like everything. Everything. I want to be one of the flea marketing greats. Like, I'm really devoted to this, And maybe it's a bit weird and everything because you're only at the flea market. I'm only there for 4 or 5 hours a day at the most. But still, it would be a great thing to actually just really become successful at this because, I mean, I'm starting to have a lot of money and time invested into it. So that's one big goal for the year. One New Year's resolution back in January. And other things about this box is I made 2 stacks, and this dude was like helping me a little bit. Look at the back of some of the discs because I said like, hey, one big help is I said test this Guitar Hero Aerosmith and see if you can actually play it without the controller. Because a lot of people that are in my position might toss away all the Guitar Heroes because, you don't have the guitar. But no, you can play those with the controller. And some people might actually just prefer the controller. I don't know. Like I've never used a guitar in those games. They're still kind of relatively fun, if you're big into music and whatnot. There was 2 or 3 of the Aerosmiths. It was maybe half junk in the box. Maybe half junk. I was actually honestly kind of doing this guy a favor, really. Because sometimes he comes through for me, man. He does. But there was some stuff in there that might be worth something. There was a PS1 driver. There was another PS1 game. I'm not sure what it was. There were some PS2 games that looked kind of uncommon. So I'm looking at it, and I don't know how much I'll make past the 75. The green cases are worth something to me because it seems like I'm always running out of the green cases. So I'm a half glass full kind of person most of the time.